What's up, YouTube world? Today I'm going to go over the 3 steps that you have to do in order to start an eBay business so that you can start making money.
Show me the money.
And stay tuned to the end because I'm going to give you a tip that's going to help you boost your sales right off the bat. I'm also going to go over some scams that you have to look out for as a new seller on eBay. But let's get into the video.
Tell me your name.
My name is Jason, aka Mr. Llama, the not-so-better half of the Lazy Llamas, which is the eBay store that I run with my wife, Mrs. Llama.
Is that a llama? I hate llamas.
Now, in the last video, I went over my story, how I took $100, went to some yard sales, bought some items, posted them on eBay, made a profit, used that money, bought some more items, posted those on eBay, and I grew my business from there. And at the end of 2 years, I had grown my business to a point where I was making gross sales of over $10,000 a month. Now, of course, that's not all profit, but it was still a very good income that I was making, growing a business from zero, total sales to over $10,000 in total sales every month.
I love that story.
But enough about that. This is about you and how you can start your business on eBay and grow it just like I did with just 3 steps.
Step 1.
Open an eBay account. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. Now you will, since you're watching this channel, I'm assuming that you're wanting to do this as a business. And so you will want to open a business account. But it really is a very simple process that you can do either online or on the eBay app. You don't need to set up an eBay store right off the bat. You will be strictly limited into like the amount of items you can sell. I think it's 10 items, $500. It's been so long ago, and I think I got my limits upped early. They just want to make sure that you're going to be a good seller. So they make limitations so that you don't post a lot of stuff and you don't, come through for your customers and you're giving bad customer service. So they have restrictions in place for new sellers just to make sure that you're going to, accurately describe your items, that you're going to ship them out on time, that you're going to provide good customer service. So it's just kind of a quality control for new sellers just to make sure that you're going to do a good job, which I'm sure you are. But since you're going to be limited, you want to make sure that you're pretty picky about the items that you pick to list, which brings us to
Step 2.
Start listing. You've already got your account. Now it's time to start listing items for sale and see what happens. Now, I suggest 2 ways to get your initial inventory for sale on eBay. I would either go through your house, look in your closets, look in your attic, find things, old electronics, things you don't use anymore that are just collecting dust, look up similar items on eBay, see what they're selling for, and post items, just around your house and make some money that way. And you can use that as seed money in order to go forward. And, so then you're really not out of pocket anything. Or you can do what I did and take $100 and go, yard selling or to thrift stores and see what kind of items you can find there for sale. But those are the 2 I would do. I would either, just find stuff around the house or, get a little bit of extra cash and go, see what you can find either at yard sales or thrift stores.
Yard sale! Guys, wake up, there's a yard sale outside!
There are 2 ways for you to list your items. You can either do buy it now or auction. 97% of what I post is buy it now. I just list the item, I put a set price on it, and, let it sell that way. Now, there are exceptions, like if it's like sometimes there's like a lot of t-shirts or a lot of video game discs, or something like that, I might put up for auction. But like I said, 97% of the time, I would just do it buy it now. That's what I recommend. I know some sellers do more auctions. It just depends on what you're selling, really. But for me and what I do, buy it now is really what I use. But the most important thing about listing,
Now pay attention,
is the pictures. You must take good pictures of the item. You must leave a good description of the item.
Well, that sounds important.
You have to make sure if there's any flaws that you tell the buyer about them. Make sure the pictures have the flaws in it so they know exactly what they're getting. If the buyer gets exactly what they expect to get, you are much more likely to get good feedback from the buyer. Good feedback is extremely important to a seller. Now, to take good pictures on eBay, you don't have to have a professional studio. As you can see, I've just got 2 pieces of clean white poster board, good lighting. You can get cheap light off Amazon, or you can use natural light if there's windows in the room. just so long as it's lit well and the buyer can see, every angle of the item is all that really matters. Now, you do want to make sure you're taking your pictures in a square 1x1 format. It's what eBay likes. They like the square format with a white background. Those pictures are going to look best on your eBay. A buyer will make a decision to buy from a seller a lot of times based on their feedback. So it's an uphill battle at first as a new seller because you don't have any feedback, but making sure that you are posting good items with good descriptions and good pictures will eventually lead to good feedback. Which brings us to
Step 3.
shipping your items. Yep, so we've got our account, you've listed an item, now you've made a sale, and you're ready to ship. Now, when shipping your items, it is extremely important to make sure that everything is protected and shipped securely, especially electronics or anything fragile, glass, anything like that has to be, make sure it's wrapped in bubble wrap, put in a sturdy box, and that it's going to arrive to the buyer in good condition. Now, when shipping, you might have to cut down the box to size. This is important because when shipping, size does matter.
That's what she said.
Now, you do want to make sure that the box is as small as possible while still making sure the item is safely secured inside, because the size of the box is going to be factored into the shipping costs when you go to print your shipping label. But this hard work will pay off because you are much more likely to get positive feedback from a buyer if you ship your item safely and securely. Now, like I said, you can do a whole video on shipping, and then you can do a whole video on how to ship certain items. So, I will also be doing future videos on how to ship. eBay makes it pretty simple to ship about putting in weights and sizes. You can print labels straight from the eBay website. So they make it super simple. You can either do free shipping on your items, which I suggest you do if it's something that's first class.
First class.
But you can also do buyer paid, which might be something better for you to do on heavier items. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. Now, free shipping does not mean that you don't pay shipping. It just means that you pay for the shipping out of the cost of the item. So if you list something for $9.99 with free shipping and it costs $5 to ship that item, you're really only making $4 or $5 on that item.
I don't do math.
So free shipping doesn't mean that it's free. It just means that the buyer's only paying for the list price of the item. There's no shipping added onto it at the end. Now, you will need supplies for shipping. You will need labels. You'll need boxes. You'll need envelopes and poly bags. You'll need different supplies depending on what you're selling. There are ways to get supplies from eBay. A little tip that will help you get good feedback is if you do get supplies from eBay, make sure you get them from a buyer that has lots and lots and lots of feedback. So if you buy it from a very established seller on eBay, they're more likely to leave you positive feedback as a buyer and not as a seller. But it's still a positive mark on your account, which will help show you as a more established account, which is what you need in order to grow your business on eBay. So we've covered all three steps. You've started your account, you've listed items, you've shipped your items. That's basically an eBay business.
That seems simple enough.
Now, like I said, each one of those steps can be greatly expanded upon. It is definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes time and it takes effort.
Now you tell me.
But anybody can do it, and if you're motivated and you put the time and effort and you do your research, you can definitely grow an eBay business with very little cost up front. Now, as promised, I'm going to give you a tip on how to greatly grow your eBay sales. We, since day one, have put a handwritten note in every item that we've sold, and we personalize it. We make sure that they know that we wrote it specifically for them. The way we personalize it is that we actually put the description of the item in the thank you note. And so they make sure that they know this isn't just something that we copied and pasted. It's handwritten on a little card in ink, signed by us. Now, we probably do a total of an average of 20 items a day that we ship. sometimes it can get up to 25, 30, over a weekend. Maybe I think the most we ever shipped out in a day was like 40 items. So it's something that we're able to do now. Like much larger eBay sellers, that's probably not something that they're able to do. But as long as we're able to write handwritten notes, we're going to do it. It takes a minute to write a handwritten note. So if you're shipping out 20 items, it takes 20 minutes of your time to write out a handwritten note to every buyer. And they even put in the feedback that they love the note, and it's something that's personal. You don't see that much anymore. Now a lot of sellers do put thank you notes, but usually they're just just a copy or a postcard or something. It's something that they just print out and send, which is fine too. But we decided to make it a little more personal, and I think it's helped us exponentially with buyers loving that.
That's so nice.
And leaving good feedback because we sent the handwritten note. Now, I must warn you, there are scammers just waiting for new eBay sellers. If you get an offer for an item that is more than you're asking, decline it. Just decline the offer. If you sell an item and the buyer messages you and asks you to send it to a different address, they'll say something like, hey, I accidentally, used my old address, and could you send it to this address? And they'll put a different address in the message. Don't do it. Just message them back and tell them, yeah, I can only send it to the address that you provided. Because if you change the address and send it to one that they don't provide, that leaves you open to them not being able to say they never received the item, and they'll get refunded and you will not get the item back. So don't do that. So decline any offers that come in where they're offering more than the item's worth. And then if anybody asks you to change the address after they've made the buy, don't do that.
Don't do it!
So I think that's going to do it for today. We're going to end the video here. If you got anything out of today's video, just make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you'll see future videos where we will go more over day-to-day operations of an eBay business. In case you didn't know, God loves you, I love you, and we'll see you next time. Peace.